I'm Gabrielle Ruth Little, your host of Girl Talk Pod. Join me on my many adventures as I navigate through all the shit life has to offer. The rule here is no expectations. Not low expectations, but no expectations. You never know what you're going to hear from this 20-something-year-old who believes in being a student for life, whether it's through a solo episode just hanging out or with a badass guest. Welcome to Girl Talk Pod. Let's talk. All right, we're recording. Hey guys, it's me. I just want to I just want to apologize because last episode I said I had a surprise for you, and the surprise was not to be gone for a month. It was actually supposed to be the Tulum episode, but you know what? I'm just going to be completely honest. I fumbled and thought that I could get it done and posted. And then I traveled, and I have a lot to tell you. We have a lot to catch up on. And I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for pity, and I'm not making excuses. But I will tell you that this, as you know, is a one-man show. And as life gets busy, unfortunately, my passion project gets pushed to the side as I, have to take care of everything else that's going on in my life. So I am here. It is June. I didn't get to see you much in May, and we are back. And we're back, baby. We are back, and we're going to be back every single week on Tuesday. And at this point, I will have just gotten back from Miami, and I'm going there for a birthday. I'm so excited. I have a family condo in Miami, so I go there often, and we're kind of made it a tradition with some of my girlfriends that we always are going to go in June for my girlfriend Sarah's birthday. So I'm really excited to go do that, and it's year 2, so it's kind of like a tradition now, and it's going to be really fun. I really enjoy Miami a lot, but weird thing about me in Miami is I don't like going out in Miami. I've not been out in Miami a lot. I've not been to any of the only big club I've ever been to is Live, and that it's fun, but it's scary, and I just don't really like going out in Miami. I don't really like going out clubbing, like big format, going out anymore anyways. I just feel like it's super impersonal, but I get it when it's like for a big birthday or you've got a great group, you can have fun no matter who you're with. So I'm not saying no, but I just don't really want to do that. So we'll see if the demons come out and I end up at 11 or Space. I don't think so, but I don't want to say never. Never say never, because I'm going to say never and then I'm going to end up at Space until 3 p.m. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just getting back from that by the time that you hear this episode. Let's catch up a little bit and then we'll dive into the episode. I have so much I want to tell you, and this is a big episode, something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. So I took some time, really thought about it, wrote about it, dug in deep, went to therapy, just so I'm excited to talk about some stuff today. So, a little catch up. I went to my best friend's wedding. That's like right before the last time we talked. I was heading out to Cabo, and it was magical. I mean, I don't know if y'all have experienced your best friend getting married, but it is such an emotional experience. The whole weekend was crying and just so much, just I guess, emotion and being proud of my 2 very close best friend and her husband getting married, and her family being there, all of our best friends being together, just so much fun. And we were in Cabo, which is an absolutely stunning and beautiful place. Weather was amazing. I did get food poisoning the last night. My flight got canceled, so I got stuck there another day. And you're like, stuck in Mexico? What? Like, no, yeah, it sounds good until you have food poisoning and you spend 7 hours throwing up in the toilet and sleeping on the bathroom floor. I was miserable, but every time I go to Mexico, I get sick. So I I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I don't drink the water. I don't know if it's the type of food. I'm kind of narrowing it down to when I eat raw fish in Mexico, I get sick because the last 3 times that I ate fish and like done sushi in Mexico, I got food poisoning and I was in the toilet for hours after, and that was awful. And I can handle being sick, but it's the dry heaving that really gets really gets me. I don't know if anyone enjoys that, but that's what was happening to me. But overall, you know what? I would get food poisoning over and over again if it meant that we got that experience that we did, because it was incredible. It's so stressful. I can't imagine like being a bride one day, because just rallying the troops, making sure your family's acting right, your friends are acting right. It's a lot. And every wedding that I go to, it makes me want to elope or not get married. But I know that one day that's going to come and my mindset will be different, and it's all about the person that you're with, because her husband was really her rock during that time. He is a rock through all the times, but if you got that support system, you can make it through anything. And I'm just so happy for them. So that was Cabo. And then coming back home, just busy, traveled a little bit, went to the hill country to kind of rejuvenate after Cabo. And then I've just been, it was Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day bender. Honestly, I was like, I'm not going to do anything for Memorial Day. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to do all this. And no, I was out Thursday through Monday and drinking every single day, acting a fucking fool, but had a great time. No regrets. Met some really cool people. Ended up I was at American Airlines 3 times in 4 days at the championship games not championship games, the Western Conference Finals for the Stars, and then the conference finals for the Mavs as well. So Mavs are in the finals. Stars, unfortunately, are not anymore, but it was fun to watch those sports. Dallas is electric right now. I think we deserve it. Rangers won, but that's like, I don't know if you're familiar with Dallas. Rangers are in Arlington, but like Mavs and Stars are like in the heart of Dallas. So it's electric seeing those games and seeing them getting so far. Should be a sports commentator. Damn. So that was really fun. Memorial Day was great. Spent time with some family. My brother and his boyfriend came into town. Got to see them. And then I got really fucking sick last week. On Thursday, I started throwing up Thursday night and didn't stop until Saturday. Ended up in the emergency room Friday because I was dehydrated and I blacked out while I was driving. My body went numb and my vision went blurry. I was on the highway, had to pull over and started throwing up in my car. And then my girlfriend's like, we got to take you to the emergency room. So I got a IV and I got pumped with some anti-nausea medicine, and I've never been to the ER before. I went in, I was like, I felt like I committed a crime. I was like, I've never been here before, but I don't know what to do. And he was like, ma'am, it's okay. Like, just go in those doors and they'll get you checked in. I got checked in, started crying when the doctor came in, and he was like, you're fine. Like, you're not in trouble. I was just like, I don't feel good. Like, it was not a good weekend. And I just feel like a little bit of Mother Nature interfering with my life and saying you need to sit your ass down, and she did that. She sat my ass down, and I was in bed from Thursday night to Sunday, probably Monday morning, and it was not a good weekend, but I'm finally feeling a little bit better. Stomach is still a little wonky. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is going on, but that's the catch up. That's what I've been doing the last couple weeks. It's been psycho. Oh wait, I quit my fucking job. I quit my corporate job, which we're going to talk about next week. Next week is going to be a corporate experience, just like my kind of education experience, going into my internships, getting my full-time job, why I chose accounting. I don't know if you knew this. I have been in accounting for the last 4 years. So I've had a corporate job alongside doing everything else. And I decided that enough is enough. I'm not passionate about that career. It doesn't fulfill me. I was waking up every morning not excited to do what I needed to do. And I also just felt like I was doing my company a disservice. And I just didn't feel like I was contributing to the team. So took the executive I made the executive decision to resign, but I'm still there for the next couple of weeks, just to kind of transition the new hire and then also like burn through my PTO because you can't leave PTO wasted. So I that's going to be next week. We're going to talk about all of that. And I'm really excited because that's something that I've wanted to do for so long. And a lot of people are like, are you scared? Are you nervous? Like, hell no. We'll talk about all the side shit that I've done my entire adult life. I've never had one stream of income. And we'll just talk about all of that next week. And I'm really excited to get into that. And we'll get into all of that. So now, this episode is let's get into this episode because we are in the current time. It is Tuesday, and we are going to talk about a lot of really not necessarily all fun things, but things that I've been going through recently. So I talked about this that a few weeks ago that I went through a breakup. So we've been broken up for a little over 2 months now. So in that time, there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of happiness in that time. So I wanted to talk about that today. I wanted to talk about my breakup and healing journey because this is definitely the hardest breakup that I've ever been through in my entire life. Hardest anything loss that I've been through in my entire life. And I wanted to talk about the healing process. I wanted to talk about detachment. Detachment is something that I've been really leaning into and studying and reading about and just trying to get a good grasp on that idea because it has changed my life. And I'm not being dramatic, I'm not exaggerating. Learning what detachment is and how to practice it in my daily life, it has changed my life. And not only changed my life to where I'm happier, it's changed my life to where opportunity has unfolded. I'm more confident when I speak. It is insane. So I can't wait to talk about that in my experience. So let's get into the episode. So I want to just take it back and because you know how I like to do my stories, my chronological order, my timelines. And I want to just talk about, well, I want to talk about this, I guess, before I get into anything, is that everything that I say is my experience. And that's with every episode. That's with every story I tell. It is my experience. And I never want to make it seem like I'm talking negatively about somebody or I'm trying to, defame anybody. Is that the short of defamation? Defame anyone or like slander anyone? Like that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give you my experience, what I like, the perspective that I had, the growth that I had. And we're all on this earth experiencing things in our own perspective, and you could be completely different than mine. If we were in the same experience, we could have, we could tell the story completely differently. And so I just want to say that disclaimer, take everything I say as my experience. You're here for a reason because you obviously see what I have to say has value, or you see what I have to say has value to it. I hope, or whatever you're here for, just stay because I love you and I want you to be here and I want to chat. But I imagine why you're here and why you come back and why you listen is because you find certain things that I say about my experiences valuable. So that's just a little disclaimer. Not that I received any messages about things I've said on my podcast, but just wanted to put that little disclaimer out there. And So let's get into it. Going back to the breakup, I don't want to get into like the story of the breakup like too much because it was a long time coming. There was a moral of this story is it was two people that had healing to do and just couldn't do it together. And I have nothing negative to say about my ex. I just wish that things would have maybe been communicated better on both ends. And it just, it sucks, but it also like that's growth is because now I am able to look at our relationship by detaching myself from it and really looking at it from like a third party and seeing where things could have gone better, but at this point it was just too far gone that there's no reason for me to try to mend things because I just think that it was a part of my life to teach me experiences and I have absolutely no regrets, but it's just refreshing to be able to now look on that relationship without any sadness or sorrow and just see where I could have done things better and what to look for in my future partner. And I talked about boundaries last time and really setting those boundaries in a relationship, and this relationship taught me boundaries in relationships because I never knew them before. And I think that if I had set those earlier in my life or in my like prior to this relationship, things might have been ended up differently, but that's not life, unfortunately, or fortunately. Is like I'm supposed to experience these things, good and bad, to really figure out what my life is supposed to look like. And I know one day that I'm going to be happily in love and in a secure relationship with someone that is supportive and that I am also supportive of as well. And there's just no rush for me. And I'm really excited for that phase of my life. And I think that each of these experiences and the different relationships that I've had are just building me, or preparing me for that person whenever that time comes. So that's really all I want to say about like the actual breakup and what went wrong, because that's all I want to say. Period. Done. So after the breakup, it was really hard for me. I was devastated. You build these ideas of this is my person. And I said that on my podcast that he is my end game. That is who I found the person that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with. And that's why I love the podcast, because I'm putting this shit out there and I get to go look back in a few years and I get to hear myself talk about how that person was the love of my life and that's who I'm going to end up with. I'm just be like, sweet girl, you really thought you had it figured out. But I said that. So after losing that, it was devastating. It was so hard. You make all these plans. You think that that's how your life is going to end up. You think that's going to be the father of your children and everything. And that when you wake up one day and that's not, especially how my relationship ended so suddenly. Like one day we were good, the next day we were done, and we haven't talked since. Like that, it's crazy. It's a shock to the body. It's a shock to the mental. It's a shock to the heart. And you just kind of are left like on your ass and you're like, what now? What's next? What am I supposed to do? And so there was a panic mode. It was panic. It was crying. It was screaming. It was not eating. It was, just wondering what the fuck am I supposed to do now? It was the creeping on the social media. It was just always constantly wanting to know like what's going on. And I am proud to say that no contact since the day that we broke up, the day that we broke up. So that's awesome. I definitely highly recommend doing that. I know it's a lot harder and said than done, but that's been crazy because in the times in the past when we have broken up and gotten back together, I was like constantly just like blowing him up and stuff. But no contact, and I just had to focus on myself. And that's why I decided this time was like, I got to focus on myself, girl. Because at the end of the day, it's you and you at the end of the timeline, it's you and you. And I'm not saying be selfish and like not empathetic, because I'll never not be those things, but or I'll never be selfish and non-empathetic. I don't know if I said that right, but I just had to focus on me because, as you know, I'm a people pleaser, and it's really hard for me to just focus on me. So I devoted my time, my energy. That's what I'm going to do. I did a healing workshop called Get Over It, I believe. It was really good. It was a breakup workshop, and I want to find a healing workshop for like trauma and like PTSD, because it was amazing. I really tapped into visualization, which is a practice of just kind of it was kind of like hypnotism in a sense, where you get extremely relaxed, close your eyes, and then you have someone, it kind of like meditation and hypnotism, like I guess combined. You have someone there guiding you through a visualization, and it was incredible. I don't want to, like, I want y'all to go experience it if you're going through a breakup, or if you're, attached, you're still hanging on to something that you really need to let go of, because you can pull out the breakup aspect of it and put it, you could, put, it's for breakups, but if you're good at that, I'm not necessarily good at that, but you could take it if you're like holding on to something that you need to let go of. You can apply it to any parts of your life, but it was rejuvenating. It brought me so much peace. I will put the information in the notes or description, and you can get the info for it. But it was really good. It was like it took me like 2 hours. You do a workbook while you're in it, and I like had a glass of wine, did my workbook, did my breath work, did my visualization. It was incredible. So I did that workshop, and that was really helpful. And I did that like the week and after we broke up, and that helped me so much, just kind of get a plan in place to like what's next for me, because every time that I've been in that situation of like trying to repair my relationship, I was just focused on the past. What can like I like what could have gone differently, what could I have done, what went so wrong, and that really pushed my perspective forward. And that was really helpful for me. And I will put it in the bio. You can check it out. It was awesome. And she's actually a relationship coach. I was thinking about working with her, but like I was with a therapist. I mean, I still have my same therapist, and I started seeing a hypnotherapist, which I'll talk about in a second, which is crazy. And I was like, that's a little too much. A relationship coach, a hypnotherapist, and a therapist. And I'm already doing like all this self reflecting and reading and all that. I was like, girl, you just gotta. I'm a salesman's wet dream, which I've said prior. If you selling, I'm buying. I'm trying to be better about that. But I was like, no, I don't need to do all that. But she is a relationship coach, which is a really cool concept. So I'll put her info in the description. And so I did that. And then I really focused on therapy, just talking to my therapist, and was just, the biggest thing that he told me was just like, you got to stick to your routine, and you got to date yourself. You got to use this time to really get to know yourself. And that's exactly what I did. I talked about it in the boundary episode, that I really spent some time and figured out who the fuck I was. And that's when I started being able to set the boundaries and getting excited for my next relationship down the line. And then I also just wanted to know, like, what is it that, as much as I want to just like blame someone else for the demise of my relationship, I have to also take accountability, because it's a 2-man team when it comes to a relationship. And as much as I want to be like, I'm just so secure. Like, no, I had a ton of codependency issues, which I'm going to talk about when I talk about detachment. And I was very insecure. So I was malleable and I was insecure. So if someone's telling me that they don't like a certain thing about me, I'm going to try to keep them, and then I'm going to feel insecure about it, and then I'm going to lose my sense of self, which I did. I lost my sense of self so bad in that relationship. And I lost my friends. I not necessarily lost my friends, but isolated myself, and like my friendships dwindled, and it was just a really, really rough time for me. And ever since the ending of our relationship, I've just been repairing myself. I've been repairing my friendships, the relationships with my friends, and just different habits and routines that I lost, like being, in a relationship with someone else. And that's kind of one of the faults that I was talking about, is no one made me do that. No one made me act a certain way. And then again, this is my experience. Everything, I have control over what I do and how I act. And I just, maybe sometimes it can be manipulated by people, especially if you're in a fragile state like I was. But at the end of the day, it's decisions that I made. So I was in an unhealthy place during that relationship, to where I wasn't, doing the things that I really should have been doing for myself, that I really wanted to be doing for myself. And I have ultimate control over that. No one else does. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple months, is just repairing those things, trying to figure out who I am, what exactly I need to be doing, what makes me fulfilled. And it's been so fun. And my life has unfolded in the best ways possible. The opportunities, which there's there's a huge opportunity that I can't talk about. I mentioned this last episode. I can't talk about it yet, but one day I will be able to talk about it. And this, the opportunities that I've opened up, the people that I've met once I allowed myself to just accept and what I deserve and stop denying myself of these things. It's crazy how your life unfolds. And you can call that manifestation, you can call that luck, you can call it hard work, you can call whatever you want. But I swear to whatever higher power you believe in, that once you cut out the things in your life, and this doesn't have to be a boyfriend, this doesn't have to be a person, this could be a habit or a job or everything else. Like, now that I'm going to be done with my job, I know my life is about to explode in so many different ways, because I was holding on to something that wasn't meant for me. So once you cut off those things that are not meant for you, your life is going to flourish in so many ways. And I am a living, breathing example of that, because once I cut out something that was not for me, my life started just blossoming in the best ways. And I can't right now think on the top of my head of like how, but most things are just like opportunities and people that I'm like you and me. Like once you're, single, and I'm not even talking about single to like date and like flirt with people. I'm just saying where you only have to look out for you, and you don't have to be apologetic for how you act or what you say or what you wear or what you want to do with your time. And you can start doing the things that really make you happy. You're going to start attracting all this energy. And I'm getting like giddy, and I might even get emotional about this, because it's just sad to like, it's just like sad to like look at myself and that time, and just like I feel so bad for her, because like my life it's just so beautiful. I'm such an idiot. My life is just so fucking beautiful right now, and I just hate that I ever denied myself of these opportunities and like these connections and deeper connections with people, because I'm just thriving, and I'm crying because I'm thriving. But you can just see how much growth there's been in the last couple months, and I'm just really excited. And I hate that I haven't been spending time with y'all during this time, but like I obviously really needed it, and I just appreciate y'all being along for the ride. So, sorry to get on a tangent, but that is just, let's segue into the detachment, because it's something that I think is super valuable. And this is just my opinion and perception of what detachment means. So if you've heard something different, I would just do your own research. And I'm not giving you medical advice, but I'm just telling you what I've experienced. So detachment to me is, when I think of detachment, I think of letting go of control. Letting go of, one, your need for control of the things that are completely out of your control. And then two, letting go not letting things control you, whether that's a person, whether that's an expectation or an experience or anything like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's like a loose definition, I guess, of what detachment means for me. Detachment to me also is just like, I'm going to say control again, but if I genuinely have no control over anything, a thing, a person, an experience, then I cannot let that get to me. I cannot let that mess with my emotions. I cannot let that influence how I'm going to react, because I don't have any control over it. How someone treats me, I have no control over. Something not going right when you planned for it for this amount of time, you can't control it. So you've got to just learn how to be adaptable and not let it ruin your mood and let ruin the rest of the day or the event or the party or whatever the fuck it is. You cannot control how someone, yeah, I mean, those are like the biggest two, like those are like the two biggest things that I've focused on, is like how people treat me, how people are going to react or speak or feel about me. Cannot control that. And then I can control how I react, but I can't control them. And then also just kind of being a little bit more go with the flow, because I used to find myself super anxious at events. And like, for example, my like best friend's wedding, I feel like normally I would be like super anxious, just trying to make sure that everyone's like cool and good. And at the end of the day, like, we're all adults, so, and everyone knows how to fucking behave mostly. And you just had to like let go of that like need for things to be perfect, because everything can be perfect in their own way. It doesn't look like one certain thing. So that's just kind of like the two. I really hope I explained that well, and because it's been transformative for me. But just to give you like just some examples is, so I started chatting. I started kind of like talking to someone casually, extremely casual, just kind of hanging out. And so this person is like extremely confident in who they are and secure and just knows what's going on and what they want. And that was intimidating for me at the time, because I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how to do that. So that was kind of made me anxious, because I was like, well, they don't really care about what I got going on. They just kind of like only care about themselves, which is not true at all. What they've done is just realize what they've done is like, I know what I bring to a relationship. I'm going to have fun while doing it. And whatever happens is going to happen no matter what, whether you're going to like me, whether you're going to end up not liking me. And so I kind of adopted that mindset, and was just like, well, yeah, you know what? I should feel the same way. Like, if I'm having fun with somebody, why convolute it with what ifs, or what's this going to look like, or what's the future going to look like, and what do they feel about me? And like, just communicate it. If you have a question, ask. But also, if someone doesn't like you, that's on them. Does nothing to do with you. And I don't want to sound like that just is easy. And I like, it made me realize in my last relationship, like, what I took accountability for everything that went wrong. And I had to realize, like, most of that shit had nothing to do with me. The arguments, the fights had nothing to do with me. And it was just someone that was unhealed from other shit projecting it onto me. And what I did instead was I absorbed all of that, and I like, my self-esteem and everything was shot. Confidence was shot, but now I realize it had nothing to do with me. So that's kind of a real experience that I had recently with that guy, is just, focusing more on like the time that we spent together, and like building a camaraderie no, a friendship, and not relationship, like dating, like boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, like just just focusing on the experience. And it was, it was really refreshing, and it just makes you less anxious, and it like makes you less worried, and you're just like, all right, this is cool. Like, we can just focus on what, like, day by day, what's going on, and I don't have to worry about, what you're feeling about me. And just, if you have boundaries and guidelines, lay them out, because that's what I did. I laid it out. I was like, if we're going to be sexually active, I don't want to hook up with other people. And if that, like, that more like of a hygiene thing, and then that's the boundary that I set. But I was like, other than that, like, you do you go on dates, I'll go on dates. I don't date like that. I've never dated like that. My therapist recommended that I do that, like, date multiple people. And I had some friends that had told me that they do that. It just sounds like very complicated to me. But what I've normally done in the past, I date someone, and then I go on a date with someone, and then I end up dating them for 3 years. So I'm trying not to do that, but I'm trying to find a balance of not dating someone and then, like, planning my future with them, but, like, dating someone, just like, being present in the experience, and then, if it doesn't work out, we move on. I just think that, like, my ADHD ass, like, juggling multiple people at the same time, crazy. That's a crazy concept. But I know people who do it, and they're really successful. I would be calling people different names. I would be calling people different names, and I don't know. For me, like, I don't feel like I could genuinely, like, really get to know somebody if I'm, like, thinking about Gerald in the back of my mind, or Sebastian. I've never dated anyone named Gerald or Sebastian, so I can use those names. But if your name is Gerald or Sebastian, you want to date, hit me up. So now let me talk about friendships, detachments and friendships as well. Is I've talked about this in the boundary episode of, when I have friends that have been maybe high maintenance, or I've, like, stressed out about making sure that being the people pleaser, making sure everyone's having a good time. Letting go of that has, like, they're going to do them. They're going to feel them. At the end of the day, they're going to have their own back. Like, if they're not having a good time, they're not, happy, they got to stand up for themselves, and they're going to do that. And they're going to leave you, and they're going to go home if they want to go home, or they're going to, take some time to themselves if they need it. And you just can't be responsible for everyone's fucking feelings. And, like, you can be kind, and that's the only thing you can control, is, like, being kind, being selfless, being charismatic, being funny, sorry, I thought we were describing all of my attributes for a second. You can do that, but when it comes to, like, how someone's going to treat you, and, like, what someone else's experience is, you have no control over it. So why waste your time, like, trying to, bend over backwards to do something like that, and then you just, like, diminish your experience. And I've done that to where I've had experiences to where I'm trying to make sure everyone else is good. By the end of the night, I'm like, did I even have fucking fun? No. But everyone else had fucking fun, but I didn't. And so that's just another form of detachment to me, is just, letting go of the things that you can't control, and, like, realizing that people are going to do whatever they want to do at the end of the day, whether, like, you're there or not, or influencing it or not. So that's, I guess, another pillar of detachment that I've been, looking at. And then you can bring detachment in the workplace too. You got to show up, and you got to do your work. And then, but how other people are going to treat you, how they're going to, if people belittle you, how all this stuff is going to, like, be projected onto you. That's, as long as you're showing up and doing your work, then all of that shit has nothing to do with you. And you don't deserve to be in that environment anyways, but, like, so you have to work. I get it. You have to pay your bills. You've got responsibilities, but also just, like, detaching yourself in the workplace too, of if someone's treating you like shit, or if someone's treating you like a certain way, don't take it personally, and just be like, as long as I'm getting my shit done, then, that's when you can, like, set a boundary and just be like, no, this is what we're not going to do, Patricia. We're not going to, do that. So that's kind of where I'm at with, that's my experience with detachment. It's been really refreshing, and I hope I'm doing the concept justice, because I swear I'm like, I gotta teach you how to detach. I gotta teach you how to do this. I have an experience, actually, another story, with one of our employees. So I started working with my family's businesses again, and this could be a whole episode in itself as well. We'll talk about it too next week, but we own family practices, so like primary care clinics, and then we also own med spas. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with the med spa, and so I have employees, kind of, not really, but one of our employees was like reaching out to me and really stressing about something, and she was stressing about the opinion that someone else had of her, and I was like, hey girl, do you show up and do your work? Do you get your stuff done? Do you leave no stone unturned when you're like in the office? Do you perform? Do you do this? And there's like, yes, 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 yes. And I'm like, why the fuck are you worried about anything else? As long as you are doing what you need to do. And she also creates, she's very anxious, so she creates a lot of scenarios in her head, like, oh, she feels like someone feels this type of way about her, or she's worried that this person feels this and that. So I'm just like, you got to learn what you can and cannot control. And that, I told her, I was like, I got to teach you the power of detachment. I'm out here, the detachment guru. So who do I think I am? I don't know. Dr. Phil. And I'm preaching that because I think it's so important. I just think it's so fucking important to learn and practice this, because my life has gotten so much better, and I'm not exaggerating. So that's like my little bit on detachment and healing the, just to kind of tie everything in a bow as I do. I just want to circle back to the healing part. It's just like, you have to feel your feelings and not avoid them. And I've done that. I've done so much work, and that's how I'm able to sit here today. And why I was tearing up earlier about just how happy I am, like where my life's at right now, is because I've done the work. I have felt it. I have cried. I have screamed. I have felt the pain. And if you don't feel that, you're going to end up creeping on your ex's stories months later on fake accounts, and you're going to end up possibly reaching out to your ex months down the line unhealed in a maybe toxic cycle. And if you don't do that, and you just immerse yourself in distractions, which I have done before, so I know, and I can speak on personal experience, I've done that. And you have to feel it, and you have to do the work, and you have to devote yourself to moving on, unless it is something that you're trying to repair, which do that. If it's something that's worth it to you and your partner to repair, you just have to make sure that you do the work. And I highly recommend doing that work separately. And if it's meant for you, if this person is meant for you, they will be for you. They will be for you. And, or they won't. And that's fine. But you have to do the solo individual work, because if I just dove back into a relationship after how it ended, it would just have been a constant negative cycle over and over and over again. But I'm so proud, and whoever is my man next, you're so lucky. No, I'm really excited to date. Again, like be in a serious relationship one day. I love, and my best friend just got married. Now she's gonna start popping out babies, and I'm like, that's what I need. Like that's what I'm ready for, and that's what I want in my life. So I'm really excited. I mean, I'm not rushing anything. I'm gonna still do me. I'm gonna still focus on myself. I'm not looking, but I'm just saying that I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited to like do that with a partner. Again, in like this healed state, because I just feel so confident, and I just feel so happy, and I feel at peace. And that peace is something that I yearned for so long, my entire life, in a relation, anytime, like as being in like relationships with people, I've just yearned for that peace. So I think that's all for today. this was a fun episode. I had fun chatting. Oh, next week I'm filming my first guest podcast. But it won't come out until episode 13 will be the first guest podcast. I went and toured this studio today. It's awesome. Whenever I do the guest pod, I think I'll be able to talk about it more. I just have to make sure that I don't disclose any information that it's confidential. It's not that serious, but I am really excited about that. I'm going to have a guest on. Then we're going to start having guests on Girl Talk. We're still going to do episode every Tuesday at the beginning. And then hopefully now that I don't have a full-time job, I would love to do like solos on Tuesdays and then like guests on Fridays. But that's a lot of yapping. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how we progress, but I promise you, this is a promise. I'm sitting here, look me in the eyes. This is a promise. I will see you every fucking next Tuesday from this point on. I promise. No more excuses. I don't have any excuses. I don't have any fucking excuses anymore because I quit my job and I don't have a man. But I will see you next Tuesday, and we have a lot to talk about then. Mwah. Bye.